Those were the visuals from the celebrations of 3rd India-Nepal Cultural Festival held in Lumbini. The sacred site is the birthplace of Lord Buddha. Hello and welcome, I'm Samiksha Srivastava and this is Inside South Asia. The meltdown at Indigo Airlines, which triggered an unprecedented wave of flight cancellations, disruptions and the stranding of thousands of passengers, is yet to settle. For more than 10 days, hundreds and thousands of passengers across India remain stranded at multiple airports, facing continued cancellations, delays and refund uncertainties. On the 11th of December, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation summoned Indigo Chief Executive Officer Peter Elbers and senior members from the carrier's various departments. Elbers presented comprehensive data and updates regarding the airline's recent operational disruptions. The aviation watchdog has set up a dedicated oversight team at Indigo Airlines corporate office in Gurugram, led by Deputy Chief Flight Operations Inspector Captain Vikram Sharma. The 8-member team will monitor fleet strength, crew availability, utilization hours, unplanned leaves and standby crew for cockpit and cabin staff. 2 members will also be stationed at the office on a rotational basis. The officers will also track daily cancellations, refund processing, on-time performance, passenger compensation and baggage delivery. Meanwhile, Indigo has filed a revised winter flight schedule with the DGCA after the regulator ordered a 10% curtailment of its flight operations. With this move, the government aims to reduce Indigo's market share from 65% to about 55 to 57% and redistribute slots to rivals such as Air India and Akasa. On Wednesday, the Delhi High Court took up a plea against Indigo seeking details of refunds issued to passengers affected by the cancellations. With ticket prices on some routes soaring to a whopping 40,000 rupees compared to usual 5,000 rupees, the court pulled up both the government and airlines over the sharp rise in airfares during the crisis. Representing the government, Additional Solicitor General Chetan Sharma said that the centre had been trying to implement FDTL norms for a long time, but Indigo sought extensions for both the July and November phases. The High Court directed that adequate steps should be taken to promptly initiate compensation payments to Indigo passengers left stranded at airports. The Indigo crisis also echoed in the Parliament this week. Speaking in the Lok Sabha on 9th of December, Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu called for more airlines to enter the market to ensure better competition and stability. Minister Ram Mohan Naidu said that strict action will be taken against those responsible for the crisis. Sri Lanka is rebuilding after one of its worst cyclone disasters in decades. Cyclone Ditwa struck regions already weakened by years of economic stress. According to officials, the rebuilding bill could hit $7 billion. The government has sought $200 million in emergency funds from the International Monetary Fund. Take a look at how Sri Lanka is coping with the tragedy.
In the village of Kotmale, 59-year-old government worker Vasanta Kumari Ratnayake holds back her tears while cleaning piles of debris and muddy water, trying to restore what is left of her home. Her house stood close to the Mahaveli, Sri Lanka's longest river. After Cyclone Ditwa passed away, Ratnayake took a sigh of relief, thinking that her home had escaped the worst of the storm. Little did she know that something worse was waiting for her and her family.
When I came home from work at around 5 p.m., the water level of the river was very high. Water began to gush into the house, and I told my husband, we can't stay here, let's leave.
The couple fled their home on the 1st of December after it started getting flooded. Now, outside her damaged home, soaked clothes, broken furniture and mud-covered belongings lie scattered as relatives try to salvage whatever can be saved. Authorities are assessing damage in affected neighborhoods like hers. Ratnayake is one of the 2.3 million people affected by the floods. The cyclone killed 638 people, left hundreds missing and damaged over 1.1 million hectares of land. Nearly 720,000 buildings, thousands of roads and railway lines and entire neighborhoods were flooded. According to sources, around 1,300 houses have been destroyed and over 44,000 are partially damaged. In Kandy, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake is overseeing relief operations. Sri Lanka's railway network has been severely damaged. Only 478 kilometers out of 1,593 are currently usable. Many communities remain in relief centers as authorities work on restoring the damaged areas. On the other side, in the village of Kitulbade, 48-year-old farmer Prasanna Shantakumara returns daily to a house that is no longer safe to live in. When Cyclone Ditwa approached, he saw the first sign of danger, a massive crack splitting the floor of his living room. Realizing what was coming, he rushed his family and neighbors out in his tuk-tuk to a safer location. When they returned, the entire cluster of homes had shifted, walls were split, floors had sunk, and several houses were on the verge of collapse. Today, Prasanna commutes between the relief center and his damaged home, trying to revive his chili crop, destroyed by floods and now dying from waterlogged soil. He says no official has visited the village to assess damage, and many feel they have been left behind in the rebuilding process.
When we came back later and looked at our homes, they were damaged to a level we couldn't even live in them. If we had stayed, we would have gotten hurt. Up till today, no one has come even to see what has happened to us. Up till now, no one has come to see what kind of damage has happened to our homes.
Thousands of paddy farmers had just planted for the main cultivation season when the cyclone struck. The UN estimates 575,000 hectares of paddy have been destroyed, out of about 800,000 hectares nationwide. Sri Lanka typically produces 20 million kg of tea in December and 200 million to 250 million kg annually, which is exported worldwide. But now officials warn that due to rains, floods and soil erosion, tea output will fall by 3 to 4 million kilos in December. Global support for Sri Lanka is pouring in. Under Operation Sagar Bandhu, India dispatched search and rescue teams, medical units, engineers, and massive quantities of relief material. Helicopters rescued the injured, airlifted supplies, and reached areas cut off by landslides. India also delivered 53 tons of emergency supplies, specialized NDRF teams, and 997 tons of dry rations. China has sent $1.4 million worth of humanitarian aid, including tents, blankets, bed sheets, and life jackets. The Chinese ambassador called the aid a symbol of friendship and solidarity, as Sri Lanka received the consignment in Colombo. In Chiloe, Japanese aid workers set up a medical camp, treating long queues of residents who lost access to healthcare after their local hospital got flooded. Sri Lanka had requested Japan to deploy its disaster medical unit in the affected region, a critical lifeline for communities still waiting for services to be restored. Sri Lanka's Deputy Finance Minister, Anil Jayanta Fernando, said it could take 6 months to complete the estimate required to recover and reconstruct the damage the island nation has faced post-Cyclone Ditwa. Officials warn the bill to rebuild could soar to $7 billion. However, a rough estimate is expected to be presented after December 15th. Cyclone Ditwa has delayed Sri Lanka's fragile economic recovery. More families have been pushed into poverty due to the calamity. As communities continue to help one another, the journey ahead will be full of challenges.
Bangladesh, the South Asian nation of 170 million people, is in a state of transition. Earlier this year, the student leaders of last year's uprising launched a new political party with much fanfare. But with less than 3 months to go before the February elections, the student-led National Citizens Party, or NCP, is struggling to translate the street power to votes. Our next report explores.
On the 28th of February, Bangladeshi students who played an instrumental role in overthrowing the government of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina unveiled a new political party, hoping to usher in a new era. Exhorted by thousands of supporters wearing green and red bandanas and brimming with hope, the Jatiya Nagarik Party, or National Citizens Party in English, kick-started its journey in front of the National Parliament. 9 months later, the promising start has transformed into a struggle to deliver on the promise of freeing the nation from decades of nepotism and two-party dominance. Accusing its leaders of abandoning the ideals of the July 2024 uprising, disillusioned youths like a Dhaka University student, Nahida Haq Tanha, voices growing frustration with the National Citizens Party.
Our country isn't doing well. Those who are in power now are very self-centered. I don't believe that they are concerned about the country at all. Bangladesh didn't walk the path of the spirit of the July 2024 uprising. Those who used the uprising as a ladder to reach the high chairs barely even listen to the general people like us anymore. Previously, they were loitering around in this teacher-student center premises. But now, we have to gain a certain social status to even talk to them. They are unavailable now. What can we say?
Some like Subaita binte Salim are still hopeful and back the party, viewing it as striving for a more egalitarian culture in a political landscape traditionally shaped by money, muscle and dynastic power.
It's a good thing about them that they want to fix it with a perfect plan. They don't just go. They make a plan and they do it. Again, we expect from them a lot. So if they make any mistake, we completely shatters them with our words. But I think we should have some faith.
In November, the NCP launched an unusual search for candidates nationwide, wherein young party leaders moved from booth to booth, interviewing more than 1,000 applicants among ordinary citizens over 2 days. According to the opinion polls, NCP, which aims to contest all 300 seats, is languishing in third place with support of just 6%. Far behind the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, which leads with 30%. Even the hardline Jamaat-e-Islami is projected to do better than the NCP, likely to come in second with 26%, according to a December poll by a US-based non-profit, the International Republican Institute.
আমরা একটি নতুন রাজনৈতিক দল এবং আমরা যথেষ্ট পরিমাণ সময় পাইনি নিজেদেরকে
We are a new political party and did not have sufficient time to organize or reach out to the wider public. This election will therefore be a significant challenge for us. We also lack prior experience in contesting national polls. Even so, we are determined to take on the challenge. We want to connect with voters through this election and demonstrate our capabilities publicly. Bangladesh needs these polls to restore stability, which is why we are hoping for a proper and neutral election going forward.
এবং নিরপেক্ষ নির্বাচনের মাধ্যমে আমরা এই সময়টা থেকে সামনের দিকে উত্তরণ করতে পারি।
A skeletal structure, a scarcity of funds, and an ambiguous stance on key issues such as rights for women and minorities. Will these factors hamper the NCP's chances, or will they hold talks with other parties, including the BNP and Jamaat-e-Islami? NCP's uncertainty comes at a time when the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the country's largest political party, decided to part ways with its decades-long ally, the Jamaat-e-Islami, that is repositioning itself instead as a liberal, democratic force before national elections. The big question remains, which way will the NCP go?
Up next, we take a look at what else is making news in our Inside South Asia wrap.
India is preparing for a major national exercise, the 2027 census. This will be the first population count in over 15 years, delayed from 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The operation, led by the Registrar General and Census Commissioner under the Home Ministry, will be carried out in 2 phases to meet the challenges of the country's varied terrain. For the first time, India will conduct a fully digital census. This includes mobile self-enumeration, GPS-based mapping, and a full caste enumeration of all citizens, something not done since 1931. Phase 1 will focus on house listing and a housing census. Officials will record buildings, household amenities like water and power and living conditions. Phase 2 will count the population. It will gather details on age, gender, education, occupation, socio-economic status and caste.
Pakistan and Afghanistan have once again locked horns, escalating tensions along their shared border. On December 5th, violent fighting broke out, leaving at least 5 dead and over a dozen injured. The exchange of gunfire and shelling took place near Afghanistan's Spin Boldak district in Kandahar province. Both Pakistan and Afghanistan have accused each other of breaching a fragile ceasefire agreement that had been in place for about 2 months.
In a tragic incident on December 6th, a massive fire at a popular nightclub in the Indian state of Goa claimed the lives of 25 people. In a video that captured the moment the fire erupted, flames could be seen just above the stage. An initial inquiry by the authorities revealed the fire started in the basement around midnight before rapidly engulfing the club located in Apara in North Goa. Preliminary investigation shows that the fire was triggered by fireworks being set off inside the venue. According to the FIR filed by the Goa police, the nightclub conducted a fire show without adequate fire safety equipment. The report also notes the absence of emergency exit doors on both the ground and deck floors, severely hampering evacuation efforts during the incident. Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, co-owners of the nightclub, have been detained by the police in Thailand. Both the brothers fled to Phuket shortly after the incident. Goa police had sought their arrest through Interpol via the Ministry of External Affairs and CBI.
An airport intended to elevate Nepal's future has instead left the country mired in scandal. What officials are calling the country's biggest ever corruption case has now come to light. The nation's Anti-Graft Commission has filed charges against a major Chinese state-owned company and dozens of Nepali officials alleging extensive corruption in the Pokhara International Airport project. Authorities warn that these fraudulent practices did not just tarnish a project, they've put Nepal's financial stability at serious risk.
Nepal is digging deep into one of its most ambitious infrastructure projects, examining how it was planned, financed, and constructed. The country's Anti-Graft Commission has unveiled what it calls its biggest ever corruption case. At the center of this storm is the Pokhara International Airport that started its operation on 1st of January 2023. The flagship gateway was designed to open Nepal's skies to the world, but instead of soaring success, the airport now finds itself entangled in serious allegations of massive fraud, inflated costs, and subpar construction. Nepal's Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority has filed charges against 55 individuals and entities. This includes China CAMC Engineering, the construction arm of the Chinese state-owned conglomerate Sinomac, also named are former Nepali ministers, senior bureaucrats, and top government officials.
This airport, built with Chinese assistance and loans, has struggled to attract international flights since opening. While the project is not officially listed as part of the China's Belt and Road Initiative, China later unilaterally declared it as BRI project. This case raises questions over transparency and viability of the projects built with Chinese loans in Nepal. For China, this is a sensitive time, as several other countries are reassessing the BRI deals. And for Nepal, this could strengthen the calls for stricter scrutiny for the larger infrastructure projects, especially linked with foreign loans.
The central allegation is that the airport's cost reportedly ballooned from an initial estimate of 14 billion Nepali rupees, which is about more than 22 billion, an increase of nearly 60%. According to investigators, fake invoices and overbilling between the Chinese contractor and Nepali officials drove the cost surge. The case also includes charges of using substandard materials and ignoring construction flaws. The controversy sheds light on the risks Nepal faces in relying heavily on China for costly infrastructure. The political fallout is closely watched, especially after Nepal's previous government, which collapsed amid anti-corruption protests in September, requested Beijing to convert the airport loan into a grant. Corruption remains a widespread challenge across the country. As Nepal prepares for general elections in March, many are watching closely to see how this scandal will unfold.
Diwali, the festival of lights, has been inscribed on UNESCO's list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It has become the 16th Indian tradition to earn the honor, joining the ranks of yoga and Durga Puja. And then there is another South Asian tradition that bid for a spot on UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage list. We are talking about Pakistani musical instrument Boreendo. As we wrap up, we tell you the story of this heritage, which is often considered as the soul of rural Pakistan. Take a look.
Boreendo, an ancient folk instrument that originated in the ancient Indus Valley civilization sites of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa some 5,000 years ago. Its mellifluous melody evokes nostalgia for a bygone era in Pakistan's southern province of Sindh. Today, the traditional Pakistani musical instrument is in danger of dying out. Meet Zulfikar Ali, one of a handful of artists in the region who can professionally play a Boreendo.
अभी मैं तीसरी नस्ल में मैं बजा रहा हूँ, लेकिन अभी इसका जो मुस्तकबिल है वो ख़तरे में ही है तकरीबन, क्योंकि जो पुरानी चीज़ें हैं वो हमारे से चलती जा रही हैं, उनकी जगह फिर नई चीज़ें आ चुकी हैं, कोई जैसे फ्लूट है या जैसे अभी हारमोनियम पहले होता था, कीबोर्ड आ गया और गिटार वगैरह आ गए हैं और ड्रम्स वगैरह ये चीज़ें आ गई हैं। तो ये जो सिंध की हमारी जो असल लोक मौसीकी, जिसको हम लोक और फोक कहते हैं, वो मौसीकी हमारे से चली जा रही है।
Traditionally, the musical instrument was used by the shepherds and farmers of Sindh as they sat together after a hard day's work and played Boreendo and sang to their heart's content. Predominantly played by men, this spherical flute is played by blowing into the largest hole, while fingertips placed on small holes control the notes. Zulfikar is of the opinion that Boreendo's unique sound is natural and captures the very essence of the region.
अगर बोरेंडो की आवाज़ हम किसी फ्लूट से या किसी और साज से निकालेंगे तो आवाज़ तो ऐसी आएगी, लेकिन वो फीलिंग उसमें नहीं होगी जो बोरेंडो से आ रही है। क्यों? क्योंकि वो एक नेचुरल है, वो इस धरती का साज है, इस धरती का आवाज़ है और धरती की खुशबू है, इसलिए उसमें मिठास है, इसलिए उसको लोगों को वो खींच के अपने पास आती है।
Zulfikar also issued an appeal to the government to introduce Boreendo lessons in schools so that a new generation can learn this ancient instrument. Echoing the sentiment is potter Abdul Sattar, whose forefathers used to make the Boreendo. Today, he is one of the few craftspeople still making this rare instrument out of clay. Working in the open air with great skill and dexterity, Abdul is keeping the tradition alive but laments the dwindling demand.
उन तौर में असांजे ॾाॾा जेके हुआ न असांजा अबा ॾाॾा उहे जेको कमु कंदा हुआ तॾहिं माना 10 12 10 15 कॾहिं ॿी शादी मुरादी तोहफ़े तौरु शादी मुरादी में हर टाइम ते जेको ईंदो ग्राहक वठण वारो हींअर केर बि कोन्हे हाणे जेको सो नए सुर वरी बि असांजो धंधो शुरू थियो आहे जेको तव्हां ॾिसो पिया
With modern instruments gaining popularity in Pakistan, questions arise about the place of the Boreendo in contemporary musical bands. Salman Pirzada, an art expert, certainly believes so and urges the contemporary musicians to show initiative and experiment a whole lot more with Boreendo, which is now just played at winter bonfires, weddings and local festivals.
I think modern musicians have enough gumption, have enough understanding how to use old instruments and try and make them blend in with the new ones to create a new sound, to create a new texture, to create new color when it comes to sound, metaphorically speaking. So, but I think modern musicians, contemporary musicians should start using it if they haven't yet, but they do use it.
In a boost for Boreendo, the musical instrument came under consideration for adding its name to UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage, a decision that will keep Pakistan's musical legacy alive.